So I see while your advice would be very important, you're a reality check on, hey, the case is not very strong. We shouldn't test it before this judge who's a human being, or we should. And I think I've got a good understanding on, how your wisdom comes into play on whether or not to take a case to trial.
Well, and I think that's where experience comes in too. We're in front of this judge. What is this judge normally like to hear when he's at a sentencing phase or fine? Or, I've got several judges I practice in front of regularly who will look at the police report and question my client based on those. That's what they use for a factual basis. So if we go there with my client not knowing what he said to the cop at the time, a good example is I watched an attorney with a young woman on a first offense DUI when she hadn't agreed to probation. The judge asked the person how much they had to drink. The person said they had 2 drinks. And the judge said, you're lying to me and you lied to the officer at the time. Because he told me 2 drinks.
Right.
He could not have had 2 drinks unless they were pictures and be as drunk as she was. The judge said, you're going to jail. He sent her to jail for 30 days, which is a valid sentence on a first offense. So what does the client do with that kind of, there's no advance warning of what the judge is going to do. In a case like that, I would have said to my client, you're going to get drink some. Likely to ask you that, and I'm going to tell you that to get the dealer, you probably get a 6 or they're purple. So, those are things that I think make me different from other lawyers because I'm concerned with the person first. Because, if I can keep a person from having to come back, maybe provide me with an additional income, but I can tell you this, that they're going to recommend me to their friends simply because that's what happened. So, it's a benefit to me, like being out of jail and driving, but it's also a benefit because it helps my bottom line.
Right on. Okay. And that leads right into the next question. What has all this taught you about people's behavior and their reaction to being arrested and prosecuted for DUI? What insights have you gained into this whole process?
Well, I think we do people a disservice with the system we've set up because it presumes that they're really guilty and they have the burden of overcome it. A driver's license is what they call a privilege, not a right. But everybody needs a driver's license to be able to work, to live, and support themselves. So what I've learned is this, that the vast majority of people really are trying to do the right thing and live their lives and support themselves and their families. That our system has gone way overboard in terms of laws because of a few minor problems with certain individuals. The majority of my clients made a mistake. And they made a mistake because they may have gone out that night expecting to have 1 or 2 drinks to be able to drive, and instead they might have met somebody and they had a few more drinks than expected, or their ride they seem drunk or more drunk than them and they decided to help out and step forward. We basically put the onus on the individual. We don't do anything in terms of our own that serve people. If an officer thinks they're visibly intoxicated, he asks them to perform further tests. If a bar owner thinks they're visibly intoxicated, he'll provide them with more alcohol because that's how he's making a living. So, in terms of people, I think most people, once they've been arrested for DUI, it's a shameful and a sad time in their life. I'm consistently told by my clients how, if I'm convicted of this, it's going to mean a loss of my job. I won't be able to drive, so I can't support myself and my family. And I just see how people make one bad mistake, their lives are turned upside down. One of my clients, prior to coming in, sent me an email telling me that she was being laid off and she's going to have to move back home as a result of this because her company found out about the DUI. So they're sad for me to think that we've taken people that really are not criminals and we've criminalized a bad mistake on their parts. But we don't see that with other things. If a person makes a mistake, we typically give him the benefit of the doubt. In the DUI situation, we give nobody the benefit of the doubt. We treat them like a criminal. We impose harsh sentences and fines on them, and we don't seem to care for the individual itself. So it's really the one area of law where we've said we do X, we get Y, and we don't look at who or what that person is.
What do you see as the future of DUI law?
Well, I think the future of DUI law is that we're gonna make it so that the vast majority of hardworking individuals won't be able to keep jobs, and we're just going to burden our society because they're going to change or increase the penalties. It's going to become a very evil thing to get a DUI. And I think the only way to stop it is by people taking a stand with their legislatures or whatnot and telling them that you've gone too far.
Okay. What's the ballpark cost to a person, of a DUI from start to finish?
Well, the economic costs are probably in the neighborhood of $3,000 to $8,000 in terms of DUI.
Okay.
It can be more based on their circumstances because more and more companies are looking at people's history when it comes to choose very qualified individuals. And the fact that a DUI is there is something that may come back to haunt them in the future. So it varies with the individual in terms of the actual cost involved through the court system and supervision. It's probably only in the neighborhood of about $1,000. But all the future costs in terms of insurance and whatnot, it might probably in the neighborhood of $3,000 to about $8,000, I would say.
Okay. And the last thing I'd like to ask is, what personal statement do you want to make to all future potential clients that are seeing this and that would consider hiring you?
Well, I guess what I would say is this, that, there are a number of attorneys. We've got 2 law schools in the state of Nebraska, but there are very few attorneys that I've run into in the 20 years that are going to give you the support you need. I'll answer all your questions. I'm happy to talk to the people for free. I've made a living based on the fact that I think I go further and longer for encouraging my clients that you're going to get an honest opinion. I'm not going to lie because it is what it is. Because us as a server, if I sit here and try to sugarcoat what's going to happen, because it's going to set you up to fail, and I don't want to do that. My goal is to treat each person as an individual, to fight hard for them, and to ensure that if I can, everything legally possible gets done to reduce their license, keep them in the
Okay.